a beautiful day, man. I love it out here. It's Monday, a couple more days before your big Christmas time. I don't celebrate Christmas, but you know, I know a lot of you guys do. Want to wish y'all a happy holidays for those of you who celebrate it. I'm just a Grinch and a Grouch. I don't celebrate holidays in general, but that's another story. Well, listen, today I want to talk about something that's not talked about enough. You know, a lot of times when you see riders, we're talking about all the fun stuff and all the great stuff in bike riding, right? But I was thinking about it. I'm like, you know, a lot of people are watching YouTube. They share a lot of DIYs and a lot of things about biking and changing stuff on your bike and long distance riding and beautiful weather and beautiful sceneries and all these different things. However, I don't hear enough people talking about the negatives or possible negatives of bike riding. Now, this is going to go to new riders and also seasoned riders. So as I'm riding, I don't have nothing scripted, nothing. So my brain is going to go. Okay. So once my brain goes, I'll have things to say. I might not have nothing to say because I'm thinking about it. So I'll make sure not to bore you with all the pauses in between. So let's talk about the things that most of us don't want to talk about. When you're riding a motorcycle, your possibilities of not coming home is far more greater when you're on that bike rather than being in a car. If a car hits you head on and you're in a car, your chance of survival is much better, much greater. If somebody hits you from the back in a car, you know, you might get a little whiplash. You might get your back might be messed up a little bit, or, you know, you might get knocked unconscious. But if somebody hit you on the bike, when you're, you know, in a bike and a car hits you, your chance of survival is minimal. That's one thing. Another thing to know when you're riding your bike, and this is especially for new riders, is to understand that there are people out there who are extremely angry. Now think about how mad people get when you cut them off and you're in a car. Now imagine cutting those people off when you're on your bike. Those same people will try to hit you off the bike. They will literally get angry enough and try to knock you off the bike. They will lose their minds. They will hit you and ask for forgiveness later. And they will say, oh, I didn't see him. I didn't see her. I had no idea. While you're laying on the road, broken the hell up, or even worse. Okay? Now remember, this video today is just talking about some of the things that a lot of riders might not talk about, but these are things that's important, especially if you're about to get into riding. Okay? Now you could be riding along and enjoying your ride and all that stuff, and there could be leaves on the ground. Now I'm going through all the lists. You know, if I missed anything, you let me know. It could be leaves on the ground. To you, no big deal, right? Gonna drive, you know, ride over the leaves, go up on my merry way, and that's it. Well, guess what? Those leaves, they can be wet and slippery, and you could be making a turn, and your bike can lose its way. Boom, down you go. Okay. Once again, you could be riding la-da-da-da-da-dee like I'm doing right now, and a deer can come out in the road and smack you off that bike. This is why when I'm riding local roads like this, I'm not riding fast. Now I enjoy the local roads because the local roads is my heaven. This is where I really enjoy my rides. I don't like the rides on the highways. Highways is about getting there quickly. That's what highways are for. Okay. But on the local roads, these country roads, these back roads, I enjoy it because I get to just relax and breathe a bit. But be mindful. Okay, be very mindful. There's a lot that can happen. All right, now. I've gotten over all of that stuff. Let's talk a little bit about another part of bike riding that most of y'all don't think about or don't want to talk about, is the possibility of getting robbed. When you're riding a nice motorcycle, a $35,000 to $40,000 to $50,000 or a $10,000 motorcycle, somebody sees that bike, they might be thinking about robbing you. They might be thinking about sticking you up. So here goes a few things to think about. Do you have your insurance set up properly? Do you have the right amount of coverage? So if something happens to your bike is covered. Now, that's the legal way. Now the next legal way is, what kind of weapons are you carrying on you? Do you have your gun? Do you have a knife? Do you have an asp? You know, the stick that opens up. Now, some states you can't carry it. If you live in California, you can't carry any damn thing. I know, because I lived in California. You have to work so hard to get those licenses, that CCW, to carry a firearm. But if you're lucky enough to live in Georgia like me, or even when I lived in Connecticut, I have my CCW in Connecticut as well. Not every situation is about taking my bike. Sometimes they're going to try to take your life to take your bike. Are you prepared? Are you ready? Because remember, in the bike world, there's a whole lot of things that happens that, once again, we're not talking about. All right, so just listen to this video. I'm making this video not to be dark, not to play shadows over you or myself, but just bringing some light to you, just bringing some realization to you as a rider, and just making you more aware. You know, check your surroundings. When you ride to certain places, right, just know your environment. Know, hey, are you in an area where you have a lot of gangs around you? Are you in an area where people are going to try to take your life, or people are going to try to rob you for your boots or rob you for your jacket? They might not even take your bike. They might steal your helmet. You know what I mean? It's just those things. Don't be naive. Don't just put your helmet on your bike and think, oh, it's okay, I'm gonna go to the store. Nah, don't get me wrong, I'll put my helmet on my bike, but get the lock systems for the helmet. Make it harder for the criminals to take your stuff. You know what I'm saying? So this is just a few little things I want to talk to y'all about. I'm not giving you a whole long drawn out video. I'm just going through the conversation and just telling all of you to be mindful, be careful. Use your rear view mirror a lot when you're riding. When you come to a stop sign, stop in first gear. Don't put it in neutral, because you might be able to pull away if somebody's coming at you too fast, right? Just remember those things. Also, when you're riding your motorcycle, just keep in mind, people don't see you. Always remember that. When you're riding your bike, don't think that you are invincible because you're riding this big ass nice bike. No, people don't see bikes. They're not looking for bikes. Most people are looking for cars, much wider, much bigger, much more visible. And think about how I see, how many times have you seen cars just pull out in front of other cars? Okay, so now imagine that being a bike. They don't see bikes. If some people can't see these big ass cars, how are they going to see something so tiny as your motorcycle, right? So use caution, and don't be afraid to wave your hands up. Okay, don't be afraid to wave. Let people see you. Make sure that they see you first. So what if you're going to have to slow down a little bit? Make sure that they see you first. Once they see you, then they know, hey, you know what, there's a bike, let me hold on. Okay, but if they don't see you, don't assume that they don't see you. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what I try to tell y'all as I'm riding. I'm just going to be talking about things so you understand the lineage of it. And what I recommend for you to do as well too is start to learn a little bit more about the motorcycle set. Understand certain protocols in the motorcycle world, whether you're a part of a motorcycle club or not. Okay, just know the protocol, especially when you and your buddies are riding and you see a whole bunch of guys riding and they have on their cuts, which is their vests. Maybe they could be a 1% club. Learn about passing those clubs. What does it take to pass those clubs? Because some people don't care who you are. You can get in some serious trouble for that depending on where you are in the world. Okay, so understand the protocols of motorcycle clubs. You don't have to be in a club to learn the protocols, because the more you learn the protocols, I promise you, the more respect you're going to get on the road, and your riding experiences is even better, because now you're able to move and navigate the way you need to navigate freely and know how to communicate with people. If you want to learn about clubs and all that stuff, go check out So's the Ghost. Check him out. All right, So's the Ghost. Also Demon's Row, which is the same guy. Check out Black Dragon. These guys talk a lot about learning more about the club life from 1% club that translates into 99% clubs, right? And just understanding the lineage and the protocols, the laws, the bylaws. And the more you know that, the safer you become as a rider. You know how to address certain people. You see what I'm saying? So just those little things, guys, that I want you to learn. I want you to really fine tune, because as I'm learning, let me tell you, as I'm learning, as the years go, I learn so much, right? And I'm still learning. And when I learn, you learn. If you're willing to learn, if you're willing to listen. All right, so that's it for me. Just remember all the things I said. I know I said a whole lot, but protect yourself as much as you can. Be mindful of your surroundings. Like, I know that there's a caravan and behind me, and I know that there's a Ford truck, pickup truck to my right, because I'm looking off the rear view mirror, right? And I'm analyzing and looking. So leave your comments. You know what I'm saying? Share these videos, because these videos can possibly save a life. You never know. All right, I'm out of here. Peace.